Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. We're going to be bringing this sunken living room up to floor height. Right now it's a 12-inch drop-off. It really makes the house a lot smaller and a lot of unusable space. So they've decided just to bring it up flush and make this whole floor level. The nice thing about this one, a lot of them is framing to the ground. This one actually has an exterior stem wall of concrete that they framed on, so this makes it really ideal to pour on top of. So we're going to go right over the top of that step. We're going to put some dowels in. We're going to bring some base in here. It's basically crushed concrete, recycled concrete that's been crushed. And that's what we're going to use for the base material. That way we're not putting the concrete in here 12 inches thick. We're just going to put it in here 6 inches thick. The base would come up to the top of that bottom step. That's why these dowels are so high, because everything below that bottom step is going to be base material. We're going to go right over the tile. That's no problem. They tore out whatever type of flooring they had within that band of tile. They cut the drywall right to the top of plate. The interesting thing, when I broke out the laser level, you can see it right there setting there. I didn't have to put it on a tripod in this case, and I didn't have to bring out my receiver because inside you can actually see the red light flickering on the walls. Here's the base material. We did 2 loads, pretty much identical to this one, and that's what it took to fill it up. About 4.5 cubic yards of base went into that 15 by 14 room, 6 inches deep. So anyway, about the leveling of that room there, as we set up that laser level, and we get measured down from the light that was flickering off the walls to get established elevation. As we measured down, we noticed that the stem wall actually towards the front of the house, and this happens in most houses. I haven't found a house yet that was perfectly flat. And this house happened to be off 1 inch and 15 feet. Which is not bad. I've seen worse. It's kind of the standard. So anyway, the drywall is cut right to bottom of wood plate, and we're going to pour to the bottom of the existing wood plate, so that stem wall becomes flush with the new slab. And the way we're going to do this base is in lifts, because we want to get 100% compaction on this. The only way you're going to do it is in lifts of 3 to 4 inches max. So we'll come up 3 here, 3 inches. We'll hit it with the plate compactor. And then we'll come up another 3 and hit it with a plate compactor. If you don't do it that way, you're not going to get 100% compaction. You'll probably get about 75%. And the way this base came, the moisture content was just right. I didn't even have to add water. The way you can tell if the moisture content is right a lot of times is you can grab it in your hand, a nice wad of it, and try to mold it. And if it kind of stays together, then the moisture is pretty good, and you just compact it. Now the rebar here, we're doing 18-inch centers. Also, we're going to put some plastic up along the drywall and just hang it down on that stem wall. This particular plastic that we're using is really thin, so when you put it out, just the static electricity of it holds it to the wall. So you don't need much tape or a lot of help. As soon as you slap it against the wall, it just sticks there. So this is all ready to pour. This is the second day, I believe. First day we prepped it all, and the second day we'll come in and pour it. That plastic is so thin that we just plug the cords right through the plastic, right back into the receptacle, which is kind of nice also. Alright, those dowels that you see there, they're in about 4 inches. We just drill them 3/8 and then 3/8 rebar, and they drive in real nice and tight. So this is ready to pour, and since we're about 14 feet across, I just use my 12-foot aluminum 2x4. We didn't really show that. I forgot to turn the camera on right during the initial pour, so we just caught the end of it because we had some serious distractions going on with the concrete company, and we just got, you know, a little offset, but we got it done anyway, and this is the outcome, and we're going to show that. So initially we bowl floated it with the wood bowl float. Oh, and by the way, check out my Instagram account. It's Odell Concrete. We got a lot of good stuff on there. Some nice snapshots, some little quick stuff on the up and coming videos. Here's the magnesium bowl float. It has a rocker arm on it, so the nice thing about that is when you're in these conditions where you got a lot of stuff behind you and above you, you can adjust your elevation of your handle and still make the bowl float work without hitting stuff when you're coming backwards. This particular mix design is a 3,250 psi. And normally that would typically break probably around a 4,000 if you actually did a cylinder on it, a break test. Now in this case here, we've waited about 45 minutes after the magnesium bowl float, and now we're just running. This is a fiberglass funny float, so you can see the lines that 4-footer left. Now I'm just gonna kind of focus on those and knocking those down, but we'll go over the whole thing just to make it consistent. This is also a funny float, just more narrow. You see the lines that it's leaving there? Well, Juan here, this particular finisher, he likes to notch the bottom of these funny floats to give it a little more, it gives it a little bit more bite on the concrete. My particular funny float doesn't have those notches on it because that's all customized individually. But anyway, he ended up doing that to mine, to my funny float. He cut it up with the right angle grinder and put some notches in the bottom just to give it a little more grip. Now this is the funny trowel right here, steel trowel. Now after the funny trowel, this is our first pass over it. Right now he's mainly focusing along the perimeter where the funny trowel can't really get really well. Now on our second pass, now we can just let it get good and hard from this point because we've got it really good and flat. Now all we have to do is let it get hard, and then on our last pass, we'll go ahead and slice that plastic at floor level and just pull off the plastic on the way out. We can do that with our trowel because the trowels are really sharp anyway by use. Now here's the plastic coming off, and you notice he's using his trowel just to cut it. He really knocked that out in a hurry. When you get it flat in your initial laydown and you go through all the processes, that final pass is just really the icing on the cake. Anyway, that's our final product. Flat as a pancake, you could say. Really opens up the house. If you've got sunken rooms, this is the way to go. Get rid of the guardrails, the banisters, all the things that narrow down the walking space to get in and out of rooms, and make it flat. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.